Hello everyone, my name is Saurabh and today we are going to talk about one of the common problem, and that is Teams creation process. Users in the organizations are always keen to create a new team for every small thing that they feel they need a team for, but naming conventions will not be followed. There will be no standards, there will be no ownership, there will be no expiration, absolutely nothing. So how do we deal with this problem? How can we enable our users to be able to create teams and they need to follow all the right practices, right, proper naming convention, etc. So this is how you do it. Microsoft Form can be used for users to input all the information which is required to create a new team. Then that information can be stored in a SharePoint list for all the audit reasons and everything. And that information can be sent to the IT team, wherein they get to decide if this information is good enough for a team's creation or not. If they say yes, teams will be created automatically and a notification will be sent to the user saying that your team is now created. Now you are good to go. But if they say rejected, then they will be mentioning in the reason as well for the rejection, and that reason will also be emailed back along with the rejection email to the requester. So that's the kind of a process we are looking at, and we are going to automate that today. So let's get started. But if you have not subscribed yet to our channel, please do that. It really helps. It takes a lot of time to create videos of this sort, so if you can just gonna hit like or subscribe, that's gonna be very helpful. All right, but before we begin further, if you want to go grab a cup of coffee, go ahead and do that. Yeah, because it's going to take a while. All right, great. Let's just get started. All right, now let me show you how the implemented process looks like. This is a form. Yeah, and these are some naming conventions. Yeah, so for example, this says a properly named team. You put that under the team's name category. Then you fill in the description, just describe a little about the teams, and then you just set the privacy if it's private or public. Yeah, and then you just hit submit. Now this information is going to start flowing from Flow to SharePoint list. As you can see, it's already here. Now this information is going to be sent to the IT guys. Yeah, and then they further will get to call the shots if they want to approve, or if they need more information, or if they want to reject it. There will always be an option to put in the comments, yeah, at the time when they're taking the decision. Say they have approved it, this will also be reflected back into the list and will also be sent back to that requester in a form of an email saying that your request is now approved and the team is now provisioned. Yeah, let's just refresh the page. Yeah, there you go. So now you have that information available within the list as well for all the historical data reasons, all the auditing reasons. You have all the information getting contained into one centralized repository. So this will definitely come in handy. We'll talk about that in a while. So now, because that is now done, now we're just going to check if it is actually done. We'll just go have a look at if the respective group is provisioned. So we just went into active teams and group, searched for it, and bingo, there it is. All right, now we have talked about the process. I've shown you how it works. Now let's go ahead and get started with the build process. But don't forget to keep sipping your coffee, and don't forget to subscribe as well. That's going to be very helpful. So now we have a list, as you can see on my screen. So here is a list. I have created some columns. You can create more or less depending on your metadata requirements. Yeah, and I have created three basic things, three basic fields in the form as well: the team's name, description, and the privacy settings. Now there you go. Now we'll just click on this. We will open up Microsoft PowerAutomate because we are going to create a flow. We will start with a template just so we can save some time. You can do that as well. These templates are available to everyone. That's the one which we need to pick. We'll just type in forms SharePoint in the search box, and then I think the fourth one on top is this one. Yep. There you go. We're just going to click on continue. There you go. So now here we just need to mention some endpoints. So we are going to put the form ID. As far as I could remember, there were 2 forms with the same name. I reckon the last one which we created will be the one. Yeah, the second one. Yeah, I reckon the second one would work. Fantastic. Now we just need to define this one. Again, the same form name. That's it. Now we just need to tell the action where the received information needs to be entered. So we are just going to provide the site name and the list name where the information needs to be entered. And when you click on the advanced, you get to see all these options. We don't want to put anything in title. We'll just put in NA, and then that's it. We'll just start putting in the information depending on whatever we have received in the form, of course. That's pretty much it. So now we have updated the SharePoint list by just doing that. Now we'll just hit save, and we're gonna hit new because we need to create another action here. We are just bringing that information back into the form, what we just entered into the list. We are just not in the form, in the flow. By putting that get action in there, that get item in there, we're just telling the workflow that this is where you need to go get these items, everything within that list. And then we are going to leverage that information from that list and send it to the IT team for the approval. So this is how you're going to create the approval. You're going to create the approval action that says start and wait for an approval. Yeah, this is how you create that approval. Now here you have the option to put in some context around the title. So when the information is emailed to the approver, then these things, whatever you are mentioning in here, will help him or her in the right decision making and a quick decision making. Yeah. So now here, just going to enter some information like the new teams requested by, so they know like this user is asking for the team. Trust me, in most IT teams, people know some key stakeholders in the business. They know who is requesting, and they know like if this person is really asking for something really legit, or if it's just really another request where he just wants us to do things. Yeah. So these kind of things will definitely come in handy for you guys. So you put in that information in there. We'll just hit save. That's it. Now it's all done. Now we will create another column in here, and we're just going to call it requester. That's it, because we need to know who has been requesting for it. Yeah, I forgot to create that metadata earlier, so we just putting one in place now so we can use it over here. We just have to go back and then come back in the flow so that action can pick up the recently added column in the list. There you go. It's here. Very good. Now here, because the one who is filling up the form initially is the requester, so we have just passed on that information in there. So once that parameter is entered, now that will be captured within SharePoint list as well. Again, we're just going to put this approval thing in place. Let's do it this way. Yeah, that's the right action. Now, depending on how you want to deal with it, if you want to put in some rule that more than one person or pretty much everyone in the decision making distribution list or the team gets to take the call, you put that thing accordingly in there. I'm just putting in one person in there for now, and that too is just being hard coded for now. I'm just going to assign things to myself for the approval for now. There you go. We will also enter the item link as well if they really want to review all the metadata on one page and not just in the email. They should be able to do it. By they I mean the decision makers, who is going to decide if the requested team can be provisioned or not. That's it. We're just going to enter the link, the item link. That's pretty much it. Yeah, let's just quickly put something under the details as well, something more meaningful, which will help in quick decision making. Because in most cases it's the naming convention which is very important, and another key thing is the number of owners for the team, so which we are not catering in for today's session, but that can also be factored as a metadata and can be dealt in the same way. Because now we have started the approval, so every approval will have an outcome, yeah, either it's approved or rejected. So we're just going to put that condition in there that the outcome of that approval process needs to be captured, yeah, and then needs to be dealt accordingly. If it is approved, as you can see, then you just create a team, and now here we're just going to pass on the same parameters which we have captured in the SharePoint list from the form using the actions above within the same flow. So it's very straightforward. You're just going to map each and every field in here with the inputted value from the list. That's it. And once the team is provisioned, now we want to send out an email as well to the actual requester, letting him or her know that the team which you requested is now provisioned, and that's the name you asked for, that's the name it's provisioned, etc. Whatever information you want to give to that person, this is where you do that. Now, there is another key thing in here. For example, say in most organizations we are using some ITSM tool, yeah, like for example, say you have ServiceNow, Cherwell, Freshservice, whatever you have. In all of these platforms, we have the option to receive an email, and then that email will create a ticket for the sender. So that's a common process, it's not new. So that email, like for example IT service desk or service desk at yourcompany.com, whatever, then you can just enter that email address in the CC column over here as well. That way, every time a team is getting created, a ticket is getting created in your system as well. So you see the beauty of it. Everything is not just automated, but is also helping you form all the layers of governance in place. And these things will definitely come in handy at the end of the year when you need to do the audit reviews. These things will come in handy. Now we'll just put in some information in there. Of course, depending on your requirements, you can capture as much metadata you like, put in as much metadata you like in the email as well. That's pretty much it. Now we can put in the same action in the no as well. We'll definitely make some more changes to it though, because if the condition is not approved, then it is rejected, because that's the only option available to the approval. Then if it is rejected, then another email needs to be sent out to the requester letting them know that your Teams creation request is rejected, and the reasoning approver is going to be giving, then that can also be passed into the email. So we will come to that in a bit. Let's just quickly try that. Let's try with this. We'll just set the privacy and hit submit. Okay, it's done. Okay, it's running already, which is good. Good sign. Please hit subscribe if you have not yet. Alright, so we've got the information in SharePointist. Beauty. Now just waiting for an email as well to also come through. As soon as that email comes through, we can choose to approve or reject, whatever we want to do. And we can also check if that team is created. Oh, yep, it can't be created now because the approval isn't done as yet. So we have to wait for the email to come through. As you can see, there is an orange thing over there that tells you that that action is currently under process. And that under process could be because of the several reasons. One of those is that it is pending an action. There you go. So that's the kind of an email which will come through to your inbox. If you want to approve or reject it, there are two buttons down below in the email. So, and then if you click on the link within that email, it will take you to this thing where you get to see all the metadata that's filled. Yeah. Now, if you want to put in any comments in there, you can do that. And then you can decide if it's approve or reject. So say it is approved. It's looking good. Now, it should be done any moment now. Let's have a look. Yeah, sometimes takes a while. There you go, succeeded. Now, it's looking good. Now we will go to, yep, very good. I received the email as well saying that this team was requested. This is now provisioned. Everything is looking good. Beautiful. Yeah, now we'll just search for it in here. Lovely. As you can see, we have a little Teams icon over here as well, which means the team is also provisioned. So that's how it is done. Isn't it amazing? All right, looking really good. Now let's have a look at a couple of other things as well, some of the best practices. Now, in most cases, when you will be putting up a form of this sort, you would expect people to follow some standards, like in terms of naming convention. How do you expect them to know what's the right naming convention? So you need to put in some right change comms in place when you are opening up this overall thing for the end users to be able to create for themselves. It's more like a self-service thing. When you are doing that, then you need to be creating a comms for them. The easiest way is to just create a SharePoint page and send a link to all the users, letting them know that now you are enabling self-service for the Teams creation, and this is the overall process. I'm just going to put something in there. It's not a very sophisticated text. It's just some basic stuff. Just have a quick look at it. I'm just creating a new page. So that's how you create a new page. Start putting in some text, some pictures. let people know what's the right naming convention, what's the rationale behind that naming convention which you are enforcing. If people want to do the self-service for the team's creation, then just put everything in there, put in all the right and best practices in there as well. Yep, that's pretty much it. I'll put in some samples as well for project department, regional department, guest access, public teams, everything. Just put in some examples and some rationales behind it. Now in the forms you have this option of adding subtitle just underneath the question. Over there you can put in a link of the page where all these naming conventions will reside, so people can just click on the link and then can have a look at all the naming conventions, find the one which is more suited to their needs, and then they key that information in this form, and when it comes down to you, the chances are that you will approve it. Yeah, so because the overall purpose of you putting so much time and effort into this self-service thing is for you to be able to approve it. Teams creation should happen automatically. People should feel that they are self-servicing themselves. Yeah, so you don't want to cause any more delays or any more issues to the end users. So just educate them. That's one of the most important thing in this overall process. Yeah. Let me just quickly add a button over here as well. So that's another good practice. So not this one, just a button. So what we're going to do, we'll just add a little button in here. So if you are going to send this thing to end users, letting them know that this is a naming convention, and now you have opened up the team's creation process for them through self-service, then how are they going to do it? Yeah, how are they going to launch that form? You should just do it. There are ways people embed the form on the pages itself. I can do that as well. It's not a big deal. Just like the way you added buttons, you just add the embed code and then you just put that code in there. Yeah, I find this is a bit more sophisticated. I like it this way. So this is how you do it, and this is how you get the embed code, what I was talking about. I don't want to do that though. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's just quickly publish the page. That's it. Now using the button, form can be launched. There you go. And that link is always there to educate people what the naming conventions are that we're going to be using to create a new team. Depending on their business need, depending on what they're trying to do, the examples are available in here. Of course, this will change depending on your nature of work, your organization. You will have several round of discussions internally, and then you will come up with some naming conventions. So that's pretty much it, actually. Yeah. All right, so nothing much is left in here. If you have any more questions, anything, please feel free to drop the line in the comment section below, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe at the end. I'll just quickly put in the email action over here just in case you guys want to know if it is not approved, then what? Then it's rejected, and then again another email needs to be sent out to the requester. This is how that bit is achieved. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and yeah, if you have any questions, just drop a line in the comment section below. Hit like and subscribe, and that's pretty much it. Great. Thanks for watching this far, guys, and hope this session was helpful. So what we learned today was just around the self-service of team creation process, how you enable that in the organization. So there is a big piece of change and change comms, which is also a part of this process, which I have not covered in detail, which you will have to sit with your change teams and need to put it in place and then need to start rolling it out. But yeah, that's not something which I have covered in depth in this video. In this video, we talked about what's a high-level process like, how do you create a form, how do you get that information from the form, put it into SharePoint list, then from there, how do you send it to the approvers? They get to decide if it is right or wrong, if they're agreeing with it or not, and then if they do, then another email will be sent out to the requester along with the information that your team is now provisioned. Of course, the teams will be provisioned, and then that email will be sent through. So that's how it is. That's pretty much it. Thanks, guys. You guys have a great day. Bye.